Hello. So, 12 days of giftmas. We're starting to wrap things up now a little bit. And I've been talking a lot about kind of shifting my gears when I talk about tarot, oracle, what is credible, what is not. I used to be so hard on myself, and it's time for me to play a little bit more. So I kind of got into, the older angel decks, which are really hard to find now because people are fucking dogs and are trying to sell shit for hundreds and hundreds of dollars that they essentially at one point bought for only $20 or less. And it kind of irks me sometimes. But if you're patient and if you know the right people, you can find cool stuff for a good price. And I got this deck, which is still widely available under Radley Valentine's name, but I have the Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine version. So I got this deck in for only 10 euros, which roughly translates to $12. And I got this baby in for 12 euros, which roughly translates to $14, something like that. If you want to do the currency conversion yourself, you can, but it's not that interesting. And I got these not because I want to resell them and make a lot of money, and this is not a trade for me. This is going to be a tool for me. Now, lots of you people already know these. This is the Angel Answers deck. I love that this still has the old Hay House Lifestyles logo. And this is actually one of the better looking Doreen Virtue decks because there's one artist that they chose to work together with, so there's more of a cohesion. Most Doreen Virtue decks have hundreds and thousands of artists, and it sucks. So this is also the old Hay House gilding. It's pretty tacky, but I remember when the internet wasn't, this is quite a new deck, but I remember reading about people saying that gilding was a gilded deck had an extra layer of magic to it. No, honey, all it does is ruin the planet. That's what gilding does. Especially this type of gilding. Anyways, I'm gonna zoom us in a little, and we're gonna look at the cards together. Go down a Doreen Virtue Avenue. So let's do it. All right, so what is this deck? This deck is not necessarily a very good divination deck in the sense of, hey, I'm gonna do a really, really, really intense reading with this deck with lots of spreads. How they managed to make this guidebook 94 pages, no, 92 pages baffles me because there's not that much to it. Also, there's no correlation between the imagery and the actual keyword on the card, because what this essentially is this is a pendulum / Ouija board in deck form. It does look gorgeous. I really like this art. It has this very old-fashioned quality to it, which I do like. And it will have keywords like reconsider, yes, a year from now, you are ready. And the artwork is gorgeous. Meditation brings answers. Recovery. Big happy changes. Hey, this kind of looks like my sister, by the way. That's pretty cool. Didn't even notice that. Romance, of course. We can't have a Doreen deck without romance. Now, I have lots of opinions about Doreen, just like everyone else does. Even the people that never used to have any and used to worship her. Doreen just left she left the New Age community, which is good because I think she was strung out a bit on the whole New Age thing. She started pumping out deck after deck, and now she's a newborn Christian, which is cool, and people can do whatever they want. I think that Doreen Virtue was just a very happy, cool, friendly woman who had a vision, had charisma, because to be a deck creator nowadays, a mass market published deck creator, all you need is charisma. You need to have a personality. You don't have to have any baggage whatsoever. And with baggage, I don't mean emotional traumas and shit. I mean life's baggage whatsoever. All you need is charisma, the power to persuade people, because it is a business after all. And what she did was, she had all of that, and she had, she was in touch with the angels, and she got a contract to publish a deck, and that deck became a huge hit, because up till then, Oracle decks were kind of ugly. You only had tarot decks, which was kind of a niche market. The print runs we see today were not the print runs we saw back then. And all of a sudden, this angel stuff completely blew up. And I think she kind of got caught up in the Hay House deck mill. And she was kind of, I don't know, not forced, but she was given the opportunity to pump out deck after deck after deck. And I just think she became sick and tired of it. And the genuinity of the decks, I believe, became less and less important, but that's just my opinion. They do have a very important place in history, because what her decks did was they opened the door to divination and tarot for millions of people. Millions. No more gatekeeping. Everyone could read tarot. Heck, I have the Fairy Tarot by Radley Valentine, which of course used to be a Doreen Virtue deck. And the way that reads is a lot of fun. It's fun to read with those decks because you don't have to think that hard. You can focus solely on the storytelling, and you don't have to worry about the meanings of the cards because they are printed on there, which is not a bad thing. It became a little bit ugly when, in certain decks, there are certain keywords that kind of irk me, certain really specific cards that are very focused on heteronormative life, but they're of their time. So, and this is essentially, a deck that is cute and that'll tell you your answers to your more simple questions when you need quick guidance. So, not the right time. Yes. Ask your angels. I think it's really funny that this card is in there, but because honestly, if you are using this deck to get to get an answer to a question, aren't you kind of already asking your angels? Get more information. I love this card. I think this is a depiction of the Archangel Metatron because of Metatron's cube. I adore this card. There is some interesting guidance in this deck and also in the accompanying guidebook. Even for the harsher answers that are in here, the guidebook is really soothing. And that sometimes is something that you need. It doesn't always have to be that hardcore. It doesn't always have to be 10 of Swords to the Tower. Sometimes you just want to be comforted. And I never understood why these were so popular. And now that I have kind of flipped through them, I haven't worked with this that intensely yet. I only used it once. I kind of get why people were so obsessed with them. Especially my live tarot reading gig that I have at the local metaphysical store. Dutch metaphysical stores have a shit ton of Doreen Virtue decks because her international printing license never really stopped. The publisher, the Dutch publisher, did announce that they have printed their final print run, and that after this, it is completely over. But so I don't know what the Dutch metaphysical stores are going to do, because most metaphysical stores, not my local one, but most just have Doreen Virtue decks, Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, and Thoth Tarot, and that's it. And maybe some Lenormand or Gypsy fortune-telling cards. So I don't know what they're going to do, how they are going to stock their decks, keep their decks in stock, because this is still the primary divination source in the Netherlands. Even when you go to psychic fairs and stuff like that, all psychics use her decks. So I'm wondering what they're gonna do. And they are very comforting in the near future, and the illustrations are gorgeous. I love the cohesion between them. You can't really pick up a lot out of them, because essentially these are just pretty angels. They're all very white too, but you know, like I said, it's of its time. They're pretty angels giving you interesting advice. And it's almost an iconographic depiction of what angels look like. I'm getting very Roman Catholic Church vibes, Gone Camp from this, which I kind of love. And like I said, oh, there's some sort of a Hindu appropriated deity. Interesting. I do love the way it looks. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. It feels very... it feels like a little time capsule. Like, hey, this is what decks used to look like. And I think that's really interesting. Like, this is one of the uncomfortable cards for me. Like, as a deck creator, don't talk about health. Don't talk about health. That's for doctors, not for an angel lady. Same with family traumas. There's a lot of cards regarding family or marriage or like really big life decisions in her deck. The decks that kind of make me go, I would never put that in a deck because it's kind of dangerous. And I guess also that's why I used to like tarot a little bit more, because it leaves the agency to the reader rather than the creator. No, I love this one. I love it. It's so old-fashioned. It looks so old, and it's not even that old. This is one of our later decks. Let me check the book which printing this is. This is in the 2010s, 2014. Like, this is not that old, but it feels so old. The back design is just another rehashing of one of the cards designs. It's pretty cool. It's a cool deck. It's interesting. If you want to get a quick answer, I know my boyfriend always wants closed answers. So yeah, that's Angel Answers by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. I got this for a tenner. If you want that instant gratification and you're like, I need this or that deck by her, you're gonna find a lot of people asking exorbitant prices, but you can have it soon. You can just have it whenever you want. But if you look a little bit closer, so I'm kind of on this quest because I think it's fun to find things for good prices. I found Indigo Angels on Amazon of all places, and it's a used copy, but who cares, for $19. I found Magical Messages of the Fairies in used but good condition for, let's say, I don't even know, same price, $20. So you don't have to pay top dollar for these decks. You just gotta look around. There are some decks that I did order by her that are a little bit more expensive. For example, the Magical Unicorns deck, that is one that I definitely wanted. I paid a little bit more for that. And also the Angels of Abundance and the Love and Light deck, I also ordered that. I did pay a little bit more for that, but all the others, and these two I've just gotten in. They are really interesting, and they weren't that expensive. And then again, you can still get a lot under Radley Valentine's name. I have the Fairy Tarot cards by Radley Valentine. You can still get the Angel and the Archangel Power by Radley Valentine, and her name not being on the cards doesn't change. You can get this under Radley Valentine's name. Her name not being on the cards doesn't change the intention behind them, and they're really interesting, comforting, and sometimes when you are really, really in your emotions, these are cards that you may want to pull. So thank you for listening. I'm going to film a couple videos back to back, so I'll be back in a minute. Bye.